Snow, we were cut off on the last podcast because I think Elon hacked into us through Twitter and shut us down.
Hold on. This kind of noise, do we need to go down to my basement?
Yeah. Well, that's the warning noise.
To get away from the sun.
See, we're getting this feedback through our headphones of this warning, like, do not talk bad about Elon Musk.
Do not. How dare you?
So, we apologize, Elon. We love.
I don't.
We love the Tesla. Hey, shh.
Still gonna call you out for your bitch tits if you're gonna talk about women's bodies and appearances.
God. Hey, so Elon Musk. We were talking about his taxes, and this Elon. I'm giving you some. People say you don't pay taxes. I'm gonna help you out now. Before 2021, when he earned $13.9 billion of his net worth, he paid $455 million in taxes. That's an effective tax rate of 3.27%. Now, he did pay $455 million in taxes, but doesn't that 3.27 sound like a really low tax rate?
Well, it does when somebody like me pays between 20 and 30%. I think my exact tax rate that I pay is, I want to guess like around 28% of my income.
Right.
And I make
I
make under 100,000. Let's just say that. Like, I don't want to say my exact amount.
You make about what he claims his salary is.
I make what Jeff Bezos, because I haven't heard it about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk claims an $82,000 a year salary.
He does the same thing that Bezos does, which this is what we should explain this. Okay, so both Bezos and Elon Musk, and we should get the exact numbers right. So you're saying that Elon Musk claims he pays himself a salary of $82,000.
Right.
So he only has to pay taxes on that, on the $82,000.
Right.
And Jeff Bezos claims, and we're doing this on purpose. Like, okay, Musk claims to be a libertarian, and Bezos claims to be on the left, right? Like,
so, yeah.
Bezos gets called a socialist. So we're being nonpartisan here, folks.
For once.
Okay, so Bezos claims a salary of, he pays himself $81,000 a year so that he only has to pay the taxes on that. So what they do is they borrow against their owning what they own.
Their net worth.
Their net worth. Thank you. I couldn't think of the exact, I don't know why I had a brain fart. So they borrow against that because the interest of taking out a loan to live grandiosely, the way that they like to live their lives, which I have no problem with rich people. Be rich all you want. Don't hurt other people in the process. Don't screw your workers over. Don't do all that. You should know the basic rules and not behave like a criminal, as far as I'm concerned, in my humble opinion. But, so they take that loan out against their net worth because then they can, buy however many houses they want.
Well, the funny thing about Elon Musk, he doesn't own any houses right now. He apparently has been living on friends' couches.
So I could charge Elon Musk like $1 million to come stay on my couch?
He wouldn't. I don't think his friends charge him. But could you imagine? His
friends should start doing Airbnb.
Elon's a little wacky.
You guys.
He's kind of a wacky guy.
Okay. I didn't know that about him, but so getting back to, because this is kind of important to tell people the loopholes that have been put into place by the uber rich again, nothing against rich people, don't hurt other people in the process, who have decided that they have so much money they just want to buy our government so they can set things up in their favor, which is what they're doing. If they're doing it like that,
right.
They're like, I don't want to pay taxes on the entire amount of money I make, so I can get away with paying myself a salary of more than what I pay my employees, I'm sure. Maybe not some of the higher up execs, I'll give you that. But I'm going to take loans out against what, and don't they make money off of the interest that they get from the loans? Like,
right.
Okay, they have to pay taxes
off
of it,
and
but
that's
it's like
that's
they get loans at a super low interest rate.
That's why he paid $455 million in taxes over like an 8-year period on the $13.9 billion. Now he also claims like his net worth this year is up to $185.7 billion, and he claims he's going to be paying taxes of $68 billion on that.
So, look, bitch tits, can't you just solve the world hunger then? And then we'd give you props to be like, well, you know what? He is fucking feeding people, so they're not starving. Can we do that? Can we negotiate with you? Can the regular folks negotiate with you?
I just don't see how like the Elon Musks, the Joe Rogans, and the Dave Chappelles have now become heroes to the right. You know what I mean? Because I think I recall not too long ago that the right would criticize Elon Musk because of the electric cars and bullshit.
And you're trying to save our planet?
And Elon Musk came out heavily criticizing January 6th. You know? But now he's their savior of free speech.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, I will give Elon Musk credit. Actually, I'll give him credit on two things. Even though what you paid in taxes, you have still paid more in taxes than Donald J. Trump. So good on you for that, because what did he only pay, like $600 for 2 years in a row, and that was it? Like some of the other years, he didn't pay nothing. So good on you for that, girl. But now I forgot my second. Oh, the electric cars. Okay, so I do, even though it wasn't his invention, but he bought into it or whatever.
Invested, yeah.
And he does want to turn things more over to like electric semi trucks. Like he wants to get everything going that way. I do. I applaud you tremendously on that, because I do think it's important. What we sometimes forget as humans, because we're all separated by our countries and borders, another thing that Republicans love, we still all live in the same house. Our same house is Earth. Whether you like it or not, whether you like people who don't look like you or not, you live in the same fucking house as them. Our planet. So we should all be concerned in the effort to save it.
Speaking of that, get me on a tangent. Last night, our friend, the county supervisor, Karen. But he did something good. He posted something alarming about, the water levels in Lake Mead and how it gone down to the point where you could see the tube for the pumping station for Las Vegas had gone down.
Which generates the electricity.
Right. So you can now see that tube through the water level. And so he posted something, about saying, hey, we needed to address the water issues. And I think that's a very important issue around here. And I was like, hey, I'm on board with you. For this issue, I can get behind you on this. And I asked the question, what do we do? Don't you think it's just a little too late at this point? And somebody responded. He goes, well, maybe if it wasn't for the millions of immigrants coming across the border, we wouldn't have the water problem. And I didn't even respond to it. I was just like, yes, there's millions of immigrants stopping at Lake Mead, drinking up the water.
Our planet isn't it over 75% water?
Right. And,
They're coming specifically
Elon,
to Lake Mead to steal the water from there.
Elon, I have a better investment for that $44 billion than buying Twitter. Okay. You can get out of that, Elon, for $1 billion, pay the penalty. So that other $43 billion. Okay. You ever see that Kevin Costner movie Waterworld? Here's what we do. Okay, Elon. And I want in on this. I come up with the idea. You fund me, Elon. Okay? This is how Tesla worked. We come up with a way to take, number one, the salt out of ocean water to make it drinkable. Number one. Number two, due to climate change, I didn't say global warming, I said climate change, and we have all these floods back east. How about we build a pipeline to transport water to the west?
Pipeline, something you guys love.
Yeah. You can even call it Keystone.
Do we have to only have pipelines for oil? Can't we have them for water?
Right.
Oh my God.
Right. So Elon, I'm not giving you this idea. I want you to invest in my idea.
I will say, like, getting back to Supervisor Karen, I'm glad that he made this post. I am glad. But I used to bug the shit out of Karen when he was just a city council person, and he would brush me off all the time about the fucking water issue. But hey, girl, I'm glad that you finally woke up. I'm giving you props.
And that begs the question of, we live in Kingman, Arizona, out in the middle of the desert. Why would you give permits to pistachio farms near the airport area, knowing that we had a water situation? We've known for years about a water situation here.
I think I know that because you are greedy. Because there are a lot of people who believe in the whole Gordon Gekko ideal, where greed is good. No, it's not. Look at what greed causes. That's a Wall Street reference for some of our younger fans.
1988. Look it up.
Watch the movie. It's good.
And now they would know The Wolf on Wall Street.
Another good one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You haven't watched The Wolf of Wall Street?
No.
It has my boyfriend Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo. Who also did a movie that based on climate change. See, I'll bring this all around.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so free speech. So we'll say this. Okay, so Elon, sure, let Marjorie Taylor Greene on Twitter, let her say that the reason because of churches that support immigrants, that those churches are run by Satan. She can say that on Twitter.
Let the world know how dumb she is.
Yeah, and then you just
let the world know.
And you can just say you could just say, I don't recall at the end.
I'm writing a new song.
I don't recall.
Let the world know how dumb. I need to stick to my day job.
Before we get into our legal part of the podcast, isn't I don't recall such a lame argument?
I do not recall. I don't know if it's MJ, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't know if it's a overused thing, but I don't recall if it is. I don't even know.
Yeah, and she doesn't remember writing the tweet. And she spelled martial law, MARSHELL.
Well, that is like the gazpacho police, okay? It's just a few letters.
Okay, but we're all about free speech now, right? So collectively, Reality Redemption is all about free speech.
Free to spell things wrong.
Even
we'll try to decipher it for you.
Even though Elon interrupted our last episode and shut us down.
You can't shut it down.
So we're all about free speech now. What do you think the conservatives are going to think that because Mark Davis came out today, the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, came out and said he would welcome Colin Kaepernick to join the Raiders.
That would be awesome. Is Colin Kaepernick still training? Like,
Yeah.
He thought, I mean, well, he was for several years after all that happening, and it's like,
I would become a Raiders fan, and not because my offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, is now there.
I would become it would be tricky for me because, the 49ers, and the Raiders have a huge rivalry because Oakland is right across the bridge from San Francisco.
Not anymore, though.
Right. So I should be able to say now, look, hey, we're not even in the same division because they're just not. I mean, the 49ers division does not include the Raiders. I should be able to say, well, I can like them because they're the closest football team to me. So I kind of like them because I'm not allowed to like the Cardinals because the Cardinals are in the division with the 49ers and they're an Arizona team. But I was already a long 49ers fan before we even got the Cardinals. Because in case you guys don't know, some of our younger listeners, again, like Phoenix was not a happening place when I was a child. There was like still dirt roads there. Nobody was coming there in concert. Like it was super lame. Like it's come a long way, but it was not cool back in the day. So we didn't get the high school. We didn't get the football team until I was in high school. Sorry. So I was already a Niners fan.
Right.
I'm not going to give up my Niners.
No.
Not even.
But what you could do, like, you could do what I do, and I have my Patriots, and my allegiance is to the Patriots.
You pledge allegiance to the Patriots,
but
of the United States of Boston.
But I have a second team now because of Tom Brady, right. And I root for them unless they play the Patriots.
Yeah, and I would do that because I would root for Kaepernick only because they had kicked him in the dirt for so long unfairly.
Yeah. So
because wait a second. This is important. Kicked him in the dirt unfairly because he wants the same thing that y'all preach about, which is free speech, which is why you want Elon Musk to buy Twitter,
right,
so that Donald Trump can come back and continue to spew his hate. Okay, and Kaepernick's not about hate, but you want to inhibit someone else from being able to say freely what they want to say? Think about that for a second. Just think about that and try to not be hypocritical. Or give me a good enough reason on why you feel like you need to be hypocritical on it, because so far I haven't heard one.
Well, you only like free speech unless you agree with the speech.
Right, and that's not the point of free speech.
But I'm going to say that to our left-leaning friends who wanted to cancel Dave Chappelle, and we've talked about this many times, was you don't like the jokes he was telling. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so, they tried to get him canceled or whatever. It kind of backfired. When they didn't really listen to the joke anyways, because we've told about Dave Chappelle's last special and how he really wasn't ragging on transgender people. He had a great story at the end of it.
He set up a fund for a transgender person who committed suicide for that person's child. If you hated people for the way that they lived, would you go out of your way to set up a fund for someone's kid that you never met? Would you? Would you do that? Would you do that, MJ?
No. Well, you get back to this and free speech. Free speech is what it is, but there's not consequences. I can't go into my work and go, I fucking hate my work. You suck to my boss, right? Because I would get fired. It's free speech, right? Why can't I say that? No, there's consequences to what you say or to your actions. Colin Kaepernick was banned from the NFL for, I think he's going on 6 seasons now. He was blacklisted. There was consequences for his actions. Okay? And here's one, and you know I'm a NASCAR fan. Denny Hamlin, who drives for Toyota, the FedEx car, number 11. The race over the weekend on the last lap, Kyle Larson kind of put a block on him to try to win the race, and he wasn't clear. He clipped Denny's car, and Denny Hamlin owns 2 cars. He owns Bubba Wallace's car and Kurt Busch's car. So Kyle Larson moves up.
So it is just like FedEx.
Yeah.
Where you can own other trucks and other people drive the routes. Okay.
Good joke. So anyway, he causes both Denny Hamlin's cars to wreck. So Denny Hamlin that night tweeted that a Family Guy clip where there was this Asian driver, and he superimposed Kyle Larson's face on it because Kyle Larson has an Asian American mother. And, superimposes Kyle Larson's face, and the car's swerving all over the place and causing a wreck. Now, yes, that's a joke. It's a joke. But, like I mentioned, Denny Hamlin, the manufacturer of his cars, not only the one he drives, but the one that he owns, is Toyota, an Asian company.
Which a lot of our friends on the right will argue, but it's made in the United States.
Yeah, but the point is, NASCAR is going all woke, and just like all these other companies, it was just a joke. Yeah, it's just a joke, but just like Colin Kaepernick, your expression, your freedom of speech has consequences. And Denny Hamlin deleted the tweet because automatically he must have gone, oh, shit, what did I do?
Was he aware at the time that the other driver's mother was...
Oh, yeah.
Asian?
Yeah. Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin are friends.
So he knew that ahead of time.
Yeah.
So he didn't...
Hence the joke.
He didn't stop to think that might be hurtful to say something like that?
Right. Well...
I understand that it's a joke. Okay, but if we're talking about... God, I really don't want to fucking bring this one up again. Really don't. I really don't want to talk about the fucking Chris Rock, Will Smith thing. It's been beaten to a core, but people kept saying, did Chris Rock know? And Chris Rock is like, no, I was not aware, that she had a condition. I did not know. I mean, and he obviously wasn't making a joke about, her background.
Right.
I wouldn't have made the joke. I understand that it's a joke, though. I don't. What was the penalty again? I'm sorry.
Oh, he was banned from the Oscars for 10 years.
No. What was the penalty for the NASCAR guy?
Oh, he just had to go to sensitivity training before the next race.
So what? Okay, what's wrong with that?
No, because NASCAR's woke now. What's wrong with it?
Okay, wait a second. They're all like, NASCAR's woke. Well, no, this is a good point then. Then why didn't they allow Will Smith to go to sensitivity training to learn how to not hit people or some kind of anger management class? Okay, if you have the other person who did not press charges, refused to press charges, who was assaulted, slapping someone is an assault. Shit, spitting on someone is an assault. Okay, and a lot of people don't know that. But if you spit on somebody, that is considered assault.
You know what's funny about NASCAR, though? They have a lower class where they call it, like, it's like AAA baseball where you have like the B drivers who are coming up, the younger drivers, called the Xfinity Series. And the guy that Joe Gibbs, who used to coach the Redskins, owns Denny Hamlin's car. Joe Gibbs' grandson, Ty Gibbs, got cut off at the end of a race, and he didn't win. And he goes up and punches another driver. Now, Ty Gibbs didn't have to go to sensitivity training.
Did Ty Gibbs get banned for 10 years?
No.
Why not?
No, I don't know.
Why not? Why are no? But that brings up a whole new issue. Why are there different issues?
Well, because
why are there different penalties for different folks?
NASCAR and the Oscars are different things.
No, but this should be okay. This is in our criminal justice system, though. There are times when you hear, like, okay, if you hear about, you know how, like, there's, like, always lessening of sentences. You know, when you go before the judge and you get convicted of something, right, there's lessening of sentences. But then you have the thing where, like, you have, her name is actually Columbia, the woman who holds the scales, and she has the blindfold on because justice is blind. Why aren't we doing things more like that? Like, why is a person's race a factor in the crime that they commit? Why? It shouldn't be. So shouldn't we, maybe we should start having juries where you don't get to see the defendant, so you can give, you can give a conviction and whatnot based off of, you can't see what they look like at all. Right, like, because it's always said, like when they get
wasn't that old show like in the 70s, The Dating Game, and you would have you'd have the man and the 2 or 3 women up on stage, and there'd be a partition, and they would go.
You can't see what they look like at all.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't that be the way that our court systems are run? I mean, honestly, if justice is blind, justice is blind.
Well, I mean, it should be blind, and it should go both ways. Like, rich people and politicians shouldn't be able to go in a court case and go, I don't recall. The lawyer that's prosecuting that case should be able to go, no, bullshit, you don't recall. Here's your words. Oh, I don't recall. That's such a bullshit explanation. I cannot get up on the stand if I was accused of something and say, I don't recall. And, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, and, call me a total fucking liberal. Proud of it. But the only people that I really think should be behind bars serving times are violent folks. I'm sorry. I don't want violent people who are causing physical harm to other folks. I think if you do things like stealing or robbery, they should be handled in other ways. You should have to pay your debt back. You should have to. You should have to go do that. And police punish them in that way. I shouldn't even say police, because they're already going through the justice system. But like the selling of drugs and whatnot, it's like these people aren't committing violent acts, though, where they need to physically be removed from society because they are a danger, an imminent danger to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm
like, that's why I'm like, and I know I sound like a total, I realize saying it, the punishment should, if we're going to go by the statement of the punishment should fit the crime, then it should do it for all people. If you're rich and you commit the same crime as a poor person who's a minority, you should not get off because you have better lawyers. It should not happen that way. They should be like, you know what?
What about...
Why don't they set up like, this is what happened? Okay, and they could even categorize it, all right, this is your first, second offense, like you're not learning your lesson. I get that part. And then you get a stiffer penalty for doing it so many times because you think you're good at that, but you're obviously not. If you're in here the 4th time, you can't even fucking commit a crime properly. Like, there's so many angles. There's so many ways I could argue this.
Yeah. Snow, do you think we're a little bit hypocritical, though? Because here I am, I'm supporting Colin Kaepernick and in his kneeling. I'm supporting what Dave Chappelle said on his special. But at the same time, I'm criticizing Denny Hamlin for what was clearly a joke, too. But, it's kind of a weird thing, but I guess.
I think that, if I could just interject for a second. I understand thinking that and second guessing ourselves, which is something that all of us should do. Am I being the same by doing this? I think that's important. I think we need more of that. I think that we also both admitted, and we'll have to go back and listen to our show, which is something that I don't particularly like to do because I find my voice annoying at times. I think we'll have to go back and listen if
we're being hypocritical.
We actually said that he had told a joke. We stated that he had told a joke. I think I had made the statement that it was an insensitive joke. A lot of times jokes, we should admit right now that a lot of jokes are insensitive, and that's the point.
And he did superimpose Kyle Larson's face on a Family Guy episode, and I have no problem with the show Family Guy.
Right. And it's like, it's kind of, okay, if we're going to dissect it, that's kind of a cheap joke because you're taking somebody else's comedy. Right. Like Seth MacFarlane's. You're using...
And to explain it, and I don't think it'd be offensive if I explained it, basically what he's saying is Kyle Larson, who's an Asian American driver, caused a wreck, and the Family Guy seat clip was Asians are bad drivers.
Sir, I get your joke. What I think I might be disturbed about is that you could not come up with a joke on your own, like you had to steal somebody else's show in order to via your joke.
Well, he did have to superimpose Kyle Larson's face on
because you're not a good comedian. You need to stick with race car driving.
Right. Well, yeah, race car drivers are comedians.
Don't quit your day job. I've told myself to not quit my day job. Okay, like some of us need to realize that. You know what? You're not as funny as you think you are. Okay, so we got that point talked about. The second point that is important to talk about is a corporation like NASCAR. Okay, rednecks, I'm going to explain it to you right now.
Yeah, but
NASCAR does not belong to you. It is not like part of the United States.
It's all inclusive now.
Where they are a corporation. They have the right to run their business. These are things that you guys vote for. Less government. I don't want you telling me how to run my corporation. I want to do it myself. And they basically want their own little governments inside the government.
And the NASCAR business model is they want a more diverse team of drivers.
And this is what NASCAR is calling for.
And that's why you have Bubba Wallace, who's African American. That's why you have Kyle Larson, who's Asian American. That's why you have Haley Deegan, who's like a kind of like a phenom from California, who's coming up the ranks, and she's a young girl. Danica Patrick. Mm-hmm. They want more diverse drivers to appeal to a larger audience. Why? Larger audiences bring in more sponsors. More sponsors means more profit.
And this is something that I would like to address white people for a moment. Okay? And I am a white girl myself. Okay, hence the name Snow. No, that's not why I'm called Snow. But anyways, I would like to address you guys, my fellow whiteys. TV, movies, has predominantly always been about white culture. So a company like NASCAR and other companies out there are saying, we want to appeal to more people. Because when we can sell our product to other people, which is the American dream, we can make more money. We can have, and we want that. We want, not only do they want to make money, but they want to have other people who feel like there's other people out there besides just us white folks, okay? There's like when people were like all up in arms when they threw a fit over Beyonce at the Super Bowl or J-Lo and Shakira. I mean, take your pick. Like, who were the ones throwing the fit? It was white people who were like mad at
yeah, Karens basically.
Yeah. And it's like, you guys, you don't understand though. This excites a whole new group. Like, you're so used to just seeing people like you, but this excites people who have been left out.
Yeah,
they finally feel included. Like, they want to be included. They're part of America too.
And I need to, since we're talking diversity in NASCAR, I need to mention Daniel Suarez, who's a Mexican driver, who's actually got a decent car this year, and he's been running good.
Cool.
His team owner is Pitbull.
Awesome.
And so again, you have like Pitbull coming into racing, and that's promoting the business. It's getting younger people interested in NASCAR. And
you guys know more than anyone, if you're a Republican, you're all about business and making money and whatnot. It's like these folks who you're getting so mad at, they're doing exactly like what you agree with. You just don't, you're just finding yourself not being able to look past it because of the appearance. Like, stop doing that though. It's
right, by like banning books and all this other shit. But we digress. And it's kind of, and I'll lump us into the, not us personally, but both the left and the right. We're kind of like animals who get distracted by shiny objects, and like, oh, look at over there. What's going on over there? And we go for the shiny object. And the latest one is, and this ties into Elon Musk, how we wrap this all out. Elon Musk, court, how do we go? Amber Heard dated Elon Musk after she broke up with Johnny Depp. But the big story of this week, and this is our Entertainment Tonight section, is the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. Now, Johnny Depp is suing Amanda Heard because she wrote an article a few years ago because apparently there might have been domestic violence in their relationship. Have you caught up on any of this?
I remember
shit?
When all the allegations came out before.
Yeah.
About their... I remembered it a little bit differently, though. I remember them both being like, they had like a tumult. I always thought it was both of them had a tumultuous...
I will agree with you.
...relationship, and both of them...
They're both cray-cray.
I was kind of like, maybe they're into... Because I have friends who they fight and they fuck. I mean, honestly, like, I have friends like that's their thing. That's what they do.
Right. It's kind of like that Eminem video with Rihanna. I love the way you lie. You remember that video?
They fight and they fuck.
Yeah, it had Megan Fox in it, and they fight and they burn down the house at the end, But that was... Amber Heard and Johnny Depp had a very toxic relationship in marriage and whatever. And she wrote this piece. Oh, God. Where did she write it? This is why we fucking do research, right? Anyway, this trial is kind of like the new O.J. Simpson trial. Everybody's tuning in because it's live streamed every day and stuff like that. So she wrote this article about domestic violence, but then it comes out like she wasn't exactly innocent either during this. Which
I never thought that she was. Like, I thought both of them were guilty of domestic violence.
And I guess Johnny Depp had one of his fingers severed because She claims he smashed his cell phone against the wall, and that's how he injured his finger. And he claims she broke a vodka bottle in his hand or something like that, and that's how he claims he got the injuries. I think I don't know which side to pick on this. I mean, it seems like both sides. Like, I've seen some video that she shot where he kind of loses it and he trashes the kitchen and stuff like that, and he's drunk. I don't necessarily agree with her posting those videos and making that public and stuff like that. And, I think Johnny Depp is a great actor. And it's kind of it's kind of a shame that he falls into those addictions and stuff like that, and that he obviously has problems. She obviously has problems. What, she fucking took a shit on his bed? I mean, what fucking kind of sane person fucking does that?
Right. If she's doing something like that, clearly she's doing that out of retaliation. I mean, normal people don't do that.
Right.
But, like, I'm sorry, I think both of them are guilty. That's how I like both of them. I do. I think he's a great actor. We've all known him longer. I mean, we've known him since Nightmare on Elm Street.
21 Jump Street and all that other shit.
Nightmare on Elm Street, though, he got sucked into the bed and blown up on the ceiling. Remember that?
Yeah.
Freddy killed him that way. And I like her. I mean, I don't dislike either one of them. I have no reason to anyway, and who the fuck am I? But what I think the thing that I find disturbing is the thing that's a bit of a kick in the face is when I read about the case and how people are sending Amber Heard death threats.
Right.
And automatically taking Johnny Depp's side. And it's like, that's what I find disturbing. But that's the kind of shit that goes in line with, okay, hear me out for a second, is like, I found it disturbing that, yes, I found everything that Ted Bundy did disturbing. But what I found really disturbing when I watched the documentary, because I was a child at the time that he did all what he did and got convicted and was put on death. The people out there, like, chanting for him to be fucking fried by the electric chair. It's just like, and selling merch. What is wrong with some people?
Right. Guilty till proven innocent.
And it, like, just automatically siding with, when I read this and I try to, like, be like, all right, don't get to where you're, like, caught up in the whole women being demonized. But when you read it, sometimes it sounds like that. It sounds like people are going after her and attacking her. Right. But it's like, both of them are bad people. Both of them are bad. Not bad people, I shouldn't say that, but both of them acted inappropriate. Both of them are abusers.
Right. And as far as defamation, if you read the article that she wrote, which I don't think many people actually did, I printed it out so we could, so you could read it because I read it earlier. She doesn't mention Johnny Depp in this. Now, you sort of know what she was talking about because this came out during the divorce. So it doesn't take a rocket science to know who she's talking about, but she doesn't mention him by name in it.
I think that honestly, what I believe is, I think they should call it a draw.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking stupid.
Well, we can't say that because she hasn't testified yet. So we should, again, that would go against what we just said about predetermining.
And then I'm being a bit of an asshole because I haven't, honestly, the only thing I've seen from this trial is the clips that I've seen on other shows, because I do not care about this trial. I am more focused on
there's bigger
what
problems.
Is happening to people who are losing their fucking country right now. I am more focused on things like Ukraine than two American actors who
that's why
are both assholes who both treated each other like shit.
That's why I said like we're easily distracted by shiny things like the Chris Rock and Will Smith thing.
Right.
We obviously did it on the podcast. We did a couple episodes about that.
This is not that big of a deal. These two are not losing their right to actually live on this planet.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I think Johnny Depp is just being Johnny Depp, and I think he probably has a huge ego. And he's playing to the crowd. He's doodling and showing drawings to his lawyer during it. He's kind of, he's kind of grandstanding during the trial.
Doing that kind of stuff.
He's kind of being kind of narcissistic, but it's Johnny Depp.
To Johnny Depp, though, doing that kind of bullshit, though. That shows that you don't care. I don't like when I hear all those cases of serial killers in there showing absolutely no remorse and all that. That's a bit fucked up. You could at least act like
yeah, he's an actor. Fake it.
Shouldn't you be able to at least where's your crocodile tears?
Do one of his best roles.
Don't make it to where Kyle Rittenhouse has better crocodile tears than you, sir.
Well, no, Blow. I think Johnny Depp was phenomenal in that movie.
He was phenomenal, and I like him in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like him in Edward. Probably my favorite role of his is. It probably is Edward. I love the Edward Scissorhands. I thought that was. I like him in that. He's probably because he doesn't talk that much. Maybe I don't know. Or I like him in the Tom Petty video where Tom Petty Into the Great Wide Open. Isn't that one? Yeah. Where Tom Petty plays the roadie and Johnny Depp and Winona are in it. Then that's another thing. That's another point I was thinking of. Has anybody gone and questioned? Because that's the thing that I was really hanging my head on. I'm like, well, was Johnny Depp abusive to any of his other relationships? Because they should get into that. Cause,
you think that would come out.
Right. And it's then maybe, because I was thinking, well, maybe he wasn't the abusive one, but I want to hear all sides to the story. I don't want to just condemn Amber Heard and say that she should deserve death threats. Give me a break.
Yeah, Amber Heard seems pretty nutty, too.
Both of them seem... Well, I mean, they just seem like people who are beautiful people. We're in a movie together. They were in the one about Hunter S. Thompson. They were in Puerto Rico. The Rum Diaries. Okay. Correct? That's how they met?
Yeah.
Was in the Rum Diaries, which is a fantastic movie. It has one of the greatest lines ever. This is the line, and actually I'm going to quote it, because I really believe this, but this is a Hunter S. Thompson thing he actually wrote was, human beings are the only species on Earth that claim a God, and the only ones who behave as though they don't have one. And it's true. Think about that. Animals don't believe in a God, but they only attack on the basis of what they need, which is food. Human beings are sometimes often horrible to one another. Yeah,
we're all...
For no reason. It's not like you're killing someone for food or survival.
God, Snow...
Give me a break.
Snow, we're coming up on 100 episodes, and, I think one of the best things about doing this podcast with you is we have such great chemistry, and we just somehow will just lead into the next topic seamlessly. But I will say, Amanda Heard, if you're single, you're crazy. You're my type. Contact me.
And beautiful.
And beautiful. So
she'd be a
step
step way up from all the rest.
Wait, I date beautiful girls.
She's absolutely... I know. Well, you do, but I mean, she's
gorgeous. Yeah.
I always
Aquaman with red hair. Ooh, God, she was hot in that. Anyway.
Whenever they got married, I was like, well, I wonder he's going to fall in love with
Yeah.
Someone like her.
But I digress. We're talking about horrible people, and that's just we're just gonna get local here for a minute. And one of my friends, a good friend, I consider him like a brother. I'm not gonna mention his name. But you know the family and him and his wife, and they work for her mother, and they own a lot of properties here in town. And it's kind of over in kind of a bad area of town. Mm-hmm. Well, they have a trailer full of tools, all sorts of stuff. And I've worked for them, just everything you need to do these fixer-upper repairs on these mobile homes, drywall tools, carpet tools, power saws, you name it, landscaping tools. Well, somebody broke onto the property where they had a trailer, and they had the trailer locked up, but the thieves stole the trailer with all their tools on it. Now that's a livelihood. Mm-hmm. And Dave's mother, his first name, but I won't say his last name. Sorry.
I didn't do that, by the way.
Yeah. Whoops.
I'm a professional here.
Yeah. My bad.
I gotta give you crap.
But anyway, the mother-in-law, obviously stressed out about this, on the verge of a, breakdown. And that's the bad side of people. Just people suck. Like, who could do this to a hardworking family? And it might even be one of their tenants. We don't know, because they own several properties in this town. Mm-hmm. Who knows? So the good part about it is the wine bar downtown next Friday night is going to have some live entertainment, and they're doing a fundraiser where you can go down. You don't even have to go to the fundraiser. You can go down to the wine bar here in Kingman and donate to the fund to replace these tools that are missing. And what was heartwarming about it was seeing how a lot of people in the community, they were sharing the page of this fundraiser. They were rallying around, sending, encouragement. They were sharing the posts of the missing trailer and stuff like that. And this comes from both sides. These people that I know are to the left, to the right. And that's the way it should be. Is like when somebody in your community, and this family is pretty predominant in this community, I think everybody loves them. I don't know many people that dislike this family. But it's cool. It was really cool to see the community rally around these people. And that's what we should do. And all this left or right bullshit, like, fuck, we have issues like the water issue in this town. And, hey, let's just blame immigrants for no reason on this instead of fucking, what's the solution to these problems? And, I don't care if you're a Republican, you're going to need water eventually, So that was cool to see. And it made me feel really good. And I've been kind of down about, thing about Ukraine and everything else and all this other fucking bullshit in the news. But that made me feel really good. It's kind of really heartwarming and go, wow, there are a lot of really great people in this area, as much as we rag on it. Mm-hmm. And I guess that also shows, like we're too quick to judge, like this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Hey, maybe they're both crazy, but everybody's so quick to choose sides on everything. Or, hey, can't you see why Denny Hamlin's tweet was insensitive to a guy with an Asian American mother? Would you want somebody making fun of your mother?
Well, and it's true, like, can't you see, with respect to the joke, like, can't you see both sides? Can't you see, like, how, yes, this was a joke, and then can't you also turn around and say, it wasn't nice to say? I mean, it was hurtful to say. Yeah. Like you should be able to see both sides of the coin. Because even though with the whole, and I hate to bring it up again, but the Chris Rock Will Smith thing. I saw that it was a joke. I saw that it was painful, with whatever was going on in that.
Right.
I mean, I think there was other factors involved, honestly, with the with what happened with the married couple, with the Smiths. But like, the judgment comes down to, you do not have the right to invade another person, and you're invading someone by slapping them. You don't have the right to do that. So that's what it came down to for me. But it's like with something that's just a simple joke where, to some people it wouldn't be a tasteful joke. You should be able to still see both sides, though. You're like, okay, it was a joke. It was a joke that sucked. We should deal with it in an appropriate manner, which I kind of agree that maybe the sensitivity training was appropriate. So people should not be calling for fuck NASCAR, or people should not be calling for, no, he should be fired. There should be none of that nonsense. The company is dealing with it in the appropriate manner in which they feel. They're like, look, we want to discipline someone, but we don't want to destroy them over it.
Right. And NASCAR,
because maybe they didn't know.
And back to that NASCAR, that another driver for Gibbs had said to another driver in an interview afterwards, he called him the R word, for meaning mentally challenged person. And that driver had to go sensitivity training too. So it's not like the precedent wasn't set beforehand there. Mm-hmm. Now, Kyle Busch didn't claim, hey, it was just a joke or whatever. I think what it is, and this gets back to the hypocrisy part, which was a big part of the conversation tonight, was you have the Kevin McCarthy's and the Marjorie Taylor Greenes having these statements. Well, I don't recall saying that, even though there's recorded audio of you saying that. How would you feel if Hillary Clinton went before the Benghazi hearings and all she did was, I don't recall? You would crucify her, right? They would. Mm-hmm. She would be crucified if she did that. It doesn't go both, just like freedom of speech, you can't have freedom of speech and you want it defended so Donald Trump can have his tweets and then go against Colin Kaepernick for wanting his freedom of expression to kneel for the anthem. Mm-hmm. It goes both ways. And that's what a lot of people don't agree, they can't see. So that's why I don't have a problem with Elon Musk buying Twitter.
Here's the thing too, if I can reach out to my friends across the aisle, I associate a lot of things in life with driving. A lot of us drive. A lot of us are licensed drivers. I happen to do it for a living, so that's probably why I associate things with that. But every person on the road, there is no such thing as a perfect driver. There are drivers who fall. There are very good drivers. There are above average drivers, there's average drivers, there are below drivers, there are really shitty drivers, whatever. Everybody who drives makes mistakes. No one perfectly drives. Nobody, no matter how good of a driver you are. So I have been caught for my faults before. And I've actually been so what did I do? I was fortunate enough they're not serious enough to where you can go to driver's education. And when I went, it's a pain in the ass. It's like an 8-hour day on your Saturday and you don't want to do it. Basically like a sensitivity training course. I always felt good afterwards though. It's you know what? We do need a refresher course every once in a while. So that's how I look at the sensitivity training. It's not that big of a deal, and people do need to be upped on, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. And that's a good chance here for the people who, no offense, but some of the folks on the left have to maintain this perfection attitude, like you're supposed to be a good person at all times. No, people fuck up. They fall down. They bruise themselves. They need they need a training class. Let's not crucify them. Let's do both. Let's say, yeah, you know what? You need a refresher course, and you need to not fucking pick on them because they need a fucking goddamn. You need to not say, we're going to throw an extreme thing at you because you did what we've been trained is like super, super bad. Okay. Sometimes people just need a refreshing and say, you know what? It's really not cool that you did that. You know, it's not like we need to pull you aside and say, we know you're a great person and you probably didn't mean to do that. You know,
although, we'll end it with this. So I've driven with you in traffic before, though. You don't have that attitude.
I'm terrible. Well, my thing with traffic is like, what people also don't understand is I've been in a serious accident too. And so part of my frustration with driving in traffic, not everyone has experienced such a life-threatening thing where it is a matter of seconds. It is seconds where life counts sometimes behind automobiles. Most people are great drivers. Most people are good enough drivers where that's not going to happen to them. You know, whether it's their fault or not, I'm not even bringing fault into this, but when you are in a serious automobile accident, it is like a snap of the fingers and your life can be taken away. So yes, I do get mad sometimes. I do get mad, but it's not, my anger is a lot of times out of love for other people because I'm like, you don't know what this can do. Like, you can be seriously maimed for life. You can lose your life. And it's like, it's not necessarily lashing out in hatred. I'm just like, I can tell right now if you're behind the wheel and you're texting, there's obviously someone on that other end that you love, even if you're texting them a shitty message like, why the fuck did you do this today? Do you want those to be the last words that you ever hear from somebody? No, you don't. You want everyone to go home safe. You don't want people going out like that. You just don't.
Okay, so what we're promoting at the end of this podcast is
safe
driving skills. Don't text and drive.
Give people
to be
break.
More empathetic.
Cut people slack.
To be more empathetic to others.
To our empathetic friends, though, cut people some slack. Like, do it. Okay, people don't always do the right thing. People are fucking narcissistic, but you even need to cut the narcissists some slack. You can't be like, you know what you're doing. No, sometimes narcissists are fucking unaware of how toxic they behave.
Don't prejudge people. Don't jump to conclusions. Look, there's a lot of life lessons in this last couple podcasts.
This is a pretty deep episode for what I thought it was going to be in the beginning before we even started the show.
I thought we were going to. I thought we were going to go full entertainment tonight. We're going to let's talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
I know. When we did the note review, I thought it was going to be more celebrity stuff.
And we'll end this on this note. And, Denny Hammond should be more sensitive. But Kyle Larson has won a championship at the cup level. Denny Hamlin has none. So we'll end that on that. No.
I think we should actually end it on something that I think we should end it on every single episode, and it's in our name. Everyone deserves a shot at redemption.
Yeah.
I think it's in the Bible or something, isn't it? Like, redemption's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, everyone deserves a shot at it. People fuck up.
And you know what? Hey, and we'll end on this. Last week we were talking about the Gerard Carmichael special. Mm-hmm. Rothaniel was on HBO. And he was on Howard Stern.
Rothaniel.
And his mom did reach out to his dad and said, I miss my baby boy. But Gerard had gone, well, I think you need more time to process this, before we talk. And she watched the special, and she called him immediately afterwards. But she didn't address his coming out in the conversation, which that was something that really hurt Gerard. And like, no, I kind of did this special to, get you to, let's start this conversation, how much you hurt me. But at least, she did reach out, and I guess that's everything, and I guess his mom was attempting to be a bigger person too by reaching out. And I think that's what we need to do, as a society. This is getting all deep and shit.
I think she was, and I also think that he knows his mother, and I think he knows that she needs more time. And I also think that society needs to stop stereotyping what gay people are supposed to be like, because she probably, from her years of on this planet, thinks of gay people in a certain light and is like, because he's not an overly effeminate man. When you watch his stand-up, he's not overly effeminate, okay? But because of the way that society has always viewed gay people, is like they view gay men as being like sissy or not manly enough. And it's like, no, you can still be a manly guy and you are attracted to men. Like, it's not a big deal. But people who grew up in different generations, they have this idea of what gay people are like. And a lot of it is probably like she's like a mother and she's trying to protect her son and she doesn't want all the judgments on her son and all that and whatnot. But it's like, she does need time to come around to be like, there are men in the NFL who are gay, who are considered, they're in there doing the same thing that straight men do. We need to stop with, like, the stereotypical of anything. We need to stop with that. We need to, like, people can be whoever they want. We have some, like stereotypical things of women, like women are supposed to be demure. No, we have very fucking tough women out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, who could probably kick the asses of some men, we need to stop. We need to stop with saying that men aren't allowed to be sensitive because they're supposed to be tough and they're supposed to be masculine. Talking to you, Tucker Carlson was saying that men need to tan their testicles in order to be more manly. No. What is wrong with being sensitive to other issues? What is wrong with saying, you know what? I don't like the way that this person's being treated. What is wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing should be wrong with that. I have friends who the women are the breadwinners and the husbands stay home with children. That should be acceptable. That should be acceptable. If that works for them, what the fuck does anyone else care? There doesn't need to be like where, since we grew up with moms staying home. And this friend, by the way, I will tell you, she grew up in a household where her mother stayed home and took care of the family and her father worked. And it's like, good for her that she's the one that wants to be the breadwinner. She's like, she flat out told me, she's like, I don't want to stay home with the kids. Do you think I want to deal with that? Fuck no, I'd rather go to work. And her husband's like, I love kids. I love cooking. I love doing that. Like, who gives a shit?
Shouldn't teach your own. Right.
And it's the same thing across the entire board.
And I think that's the big problem all over is we collectively, we get involved in everybody else's business when it should be like, hey, whatever makes me happy, whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. Hey neighbor, Take care of your neighbor.
Exactly.
Take care of your neighbor that had all their tools stolen, and let's look after each other as a community. And I think we've always preached that on this podcast, It's kind of funny that we're going for a total light and fluffy, even though the Depp Heard trial isn't light and fluffy.
But, I mean, honestly, like what we're talking about right now, preach what makes you happy. That right there, folks, is the essence of free speech. It's like, you know what? Speech isn't only speech and the shit that flies out of my mouth. Maybe it's how I live my life too. And it should be mind your own business, and try to be supportive of things that you don't necessarily agree with.
Right.
If you're going to do it for speech, you should also do it for the way in which people choose to live their lives, because that is basically their speech.
And, like the guy that was mad about the millions of immigrants coming over and taking all the water. How about you don't be angry about that and you focus on solving the problem? I think a lot of people, we spend too much time being angry about things and not being proactive on fixing things.
Well, they need to. Honestly, like, the media is out to make money. So the media is grabbing the stuff that they know will make people angry, because that's what sells and that's what they're doing. And it's like, the media sucks in doing that. Like,
see, we called it out. Media sucks.
I'm very limited on which media I choose to listen to, because it's any of it where if they're just preaching nonstop hate, no matter who's doing it, I'm like, I'm done. You're turned off. Like, I'm not going to listen to you, whether you're attacking whoever you're attacking. I'm not going to do that.
I found myself at the beginning of the Ukraine thing. I started watching the news again for a couple weeks, and then I was just like, I can't do this. And I don't really consume mainstream news. Mm-hmm. I consume news as far as researching stuff on the internet, looking stuff up, and okay, what happened today? Because I like to, keep up on shit. But as far as consuming it now, I'll listen to, more entertaining stuff.
Well, and I've just come to the conclusion where I'm like, I'm an American. People I don't agree with, they're Americans. Neither one of us have control over the information that is spread through here. Why in the fuck should I hate these people?
Yeah.
Why should I hate them? Because they have no control over what is being pumped out into the information. And if they choose to believe it, I'm like, yeah, but that's what's being fed to them. And it's being fed to them through something that they think is legitimate. I'm not going to fucking hate that person for that.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I think, though, what we should do is, with free speech, though, if you hear something and do what I do, if I hear something like that kind of sounds ridiculous about my side or what my side is saying, is I research it and go, all right, let me form my own opinion on this rather than being spoon-fed. Okay, I'm going to believe what Tucker Carlson says or what Anderson Cooper says. Or even, sometimes what Bill Maher says, and even Bill Maher, I'm going to go, no, dude, you shouldn't be saying that. No, you shouldn't be saying it. You should be able to say it, but I'm going, I don't agree with you on that.
Well, it's like, stop buying into things just because you like what they're saying. Don't buy into it and think that it might be true just because you're like, oh my God, I hope I want to believe that. That seems to be like what's going on. And then it's like, even if you present some folks with facts,
right,
they don't care because they want to believe.
Right. And to like bring this full circle back to Elon Musk buying Twitter, he hasn't fully acquired it yet. And we don't know what he's going to do to it. I don't think he's going to silence the left. I really don't. I think he's going to be a man of his word, and he's.
I don't think he would either. I mean, what I do hope is that I wish there would be more. There's got to be folks out there who are willing to start up social media platforms that would go by different standards, that like, let this be a lesson to, and then you can be like, yeah, if you come in here and you think you're going to just buy us over with your money and whatnot, we're not going to stand for that. We're going to stand for what's
right
equal. I mean, if we're going to say that we're going to go with equality, because equality, I mean, I even disagree with when people say that, it must be freedom. I'm like, all right, in America, if you want to, and I should have actually pulled my phone out for this one because I did look up some libertarian talking points earlier, and it lists countries in order of their freedoms. There are a lot of countries that are kicking our asses, okay? They're like rated at a way higher freedom thing, than the United States. The United States has a good rating, don't get me wrong.
We'll end this on this. Another radio show I listened to, they were talking about a study that was done, because we know how we talk about America's the greatest. Well, they were doing it about dick size. Mm-hmm. And America falls like 59th in dick size, in average of the population. So
they're saying like there could be some correlation there.
Yeah, so we think we're the best, but we're not. I think Taiwan was like last, and of course it was something like I'll come up with a study. We got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. That's for next episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about dick size.
We've already said like 4 times. I think
we're wrapping this up.
Okay,
we're gonna wrap this up. And Elon Musk didn't cancel us on this episode. Didn't interrupt the middle of the show. So anyway, I think we just can all be better, and we can be all more open-minded, and
and maybe bring back. We should all have the fire in us, but let's bring back a little bit of kindness.
Yeah.
A little bit. Let's start.
A little bit. Just be nice to your neighbors.
Just a dose. Just be nice to somebody.
We're all in this together.
Just be nice to one person.
Yeah.
This week. And then maybe next week try 2 people that you're nice to. And go from there.
Yeah.
Me included. I mean, I need to do this too.
And be like me, the guy with the social media posts like, maybe if we didn't have a million fucking immigrants coming over and illegals. He said illegals. If we didn't have a million illegals come up to get up on the water, and what I did? I chose not to engage him. Mm-hmm. I just let it go. Now, me 4 years ago, I would have definitely engaged him. Mm-hmm. But hey, try to be a bigger person. That's all we can do.
Right.
And that's a reality redemption. We're trying to be bigger people.
Everyone deserves a shot at redemption.
All right. Including Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
And people
and hopefully they can go about their lives.
And Elon Musk. Yeah. You can still feed people.
Yeah.
With all that money.
And Elon, we can also have water. We can solve the drought in the West.
Oh, yeah. MJ's pipeline thing.
Yes. Elon, contact me, okay? And we'll end it on that. Okay. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, y'all.